Welcome everybody. I know it's a Saturday afternoon and this must be your lunchtime. You guys have taken time out and joined us to know more about Germany as an education destination, as well as the life of a student in Germany, and a lot more about IU, which is the university where we have a program, Upgrad as a program with, and we'll talk more about the IU programs and how it helps a student in pursuing transnational education and building career abroad. Um, Let me first introduce Saurabh to you, Saurabh Mukhavar, and he is an IU alumni. He has studied with IU International University of Applied Sciences, and he has been in journey now for Germany for 1.5 years or more than that, I believe. And he has seen what happens in COVID in Germany. So I think we'll get a lot more insights about how Germany has handled COVID onslaught. Um, and I think there are a lot of good discussion I hope we will have. Please feel free to ask any questions. Do not ask questions chat box, very difficult to monitor there. Use Q&A box to ask your questions. Let me introduce myself as well. If you're meeting here first time, I am Ankur Dhawan. I am a business head of Upgrad Abroad, and I work with universities to bring their programs to India and also make it cost effective for students who look to study abroad. Um, the three programs which are already available on our website, and many of you would have already enrolled as well in those programs, are with IU, which is International University of Applied Sciences based in Germany. They have two campuses for international students. One is in Bonn, the other is in Berlin. We have three programs with them. The first is in data science. You can do 1 year online, the program in data science, and 1 year on campus. Similarly, we have another program which is in the domain of management. It's called Masters in International Management with two specialization, finance and accounting, as well as international marketing. This program also can be done 1 year online and 1 year on campus. And third program is in the field of cybersecurity, which is where you know that the field which is the most upcoming. Everybody is now hearing about the cyber attacks happening on our government website. Sometimes on the our grid itself gets brought down by cyber attacks. So another field which is very important. So we have these three programs. All three programs have 1 year online component which you can do from anywhere in the world, not only India, and then move to Germany after completing your year one with us. And there are many benefits of this program which I will talk about as we progress, because Saurabh will tell us what he had to go through when he had thought about going to Germany, and then I'll talk about how things have become much simpler since he has been to Germany, since he went to Germany to complete his studies. So on that note, I will invite Saurabh to give us a background about himself. Where does he belong to in Delhi? What did he do in bachelor's, and what made him think about going abroad?
Yeah. Hello everyone. Thanks, Ankur, for the wonderful introduction. And I'm really glad to be on board. I would like to thank all the participants who have joined us, and I hope this will be a fruitful session for everyone who is attending this session. Coming from coming with in respect to my background, I basically come from India. My hometown is Delhi, and I have completed my bachelor's in technology. I've completed my BTech in computer science and engineering in the year 2015, and from Maharishi Dyanand University. It's a university which is affiliated and located in Haryana. And from 2015 to 2019, I basically worked in edtech space with a Google partner company called as Meteorology Software. So I was working in sales and marketing as a business development manager. And I came to Germany to pursue my MBA in September 2019 with a program with IU known as MBA in International Business. And since then I'm in Germany. I'm pretty excited to tell everyone that last month only I completed my MBA. And right now I'm working as a sales and customer success manager with a market research company based in Germany.
Very good. So when you thought about studying abroad after doing 4 years of work experience, I'm sure you must have considered many countries before you finalized Germany. So just wanted to get a little more background about how did you arrive at this decision of going to Germany?
Yeah, right. I think most of the students who plan international studies, they have like few countries in their mind. The majority of them have US, Canada, and Germany. Uh, to me, it was like no different. Like I also considered few countries. To be precise, I considered Australia, I considered Canada, and US, of course, and also the Germany. The reason why I shortlisted these countries are basically due to job opportunities and the 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 like education academic programs that these countries offer. I shortlisted Germany because basically I was looking for a program which gives me more exposure to European business, since European business is like really vast, and every country in Europe, they have like certain framework in which they function, and like understanding the European business is like very important when you look for, let's say, if you want to make a career into international business. So I thought like the Germany is like a good place to be in. The economy is like really good. We have like so many academic programs. Cost of living, overall fees structure is like really affordable compared to like other countries in the West. So yeah, uh, with these parameters, I like shortlisted and decided to move to come to Germany for my MBA.
Great. So what you mentioned is what I've been telling people all along, that if you're thinking of studying abroad, you should first see the economy where you're working. Is it growing?
Right.
Is it a strong economy? Do you see a lot of businesses there? And what kind of job opportunities are there? And I always find Germany to be fascinating in that sense, given that it's fourth largest economy in the world, largest in Europe, full of manufacturing startup, full of like automobiles, full of renewable energy, R&D, all of the things which you can think of being done well are being done in Germany. Yes, obviously US is the largest economy, so you can always say that US gives you a lot more opportunities, but US visa itself is very difficult. So my understanding is if you want to get into Germany, the visa is not that big a challenge. If you have documents in right place, then you should be able to get a visa. One of the things which we keep hearing, and I wanted your views on this, that in Germany, or Germany is the heaven of job seekers, given that the population, the way it is currently structured, or what I will say, circumstantially, the population has become old, and they need migrants to come to take those jobs. Unlike US, which is not really looking forward migrants, Germany is very welcoming. So, just your views on this one.
Yes, I totally agree on your point, Ankur. If you'll ask me, like Germany has aging population, just like Japan, and they are like really welcoming migrants from all across the world, and people are like really welcoming. The economy is growing in such a way that they really welcome migrants, and they really help them in uh, like getting job opportunities. They are like really welcoming in their culture. Uh, if you'll ask me, every European country has a different, let's say a different way in which they function. And Germany being the largest economy, I can say that here the job opportunities are immense. We have so many sectors in which Germany is rapidly growing, be it manufacturing, automobile. IT is one of the biggest sector, I would say, for migrants in case they are looking for jobs. And I totally agree that every country has their certain advantages or disadvantages. But uh, if you're really considering to be in Europe, I think Germany is very well located in Europe. You get a Schengen visa when you come to Germany, so you can travel without any visa. That's a good point in I think 24 countries. So it's very accessible. If you'll ask me, Germany is like very well connected with public transportation. We have like good public transportation. Infrastructure is really great. People are like really welcoming. The best part is the weather. Weather is like really good. And the best part is also like people are really welcoming here. So they really value people, and they really value your time. Punctuality is one of the main thing. Germans, uh, they want to be on time, and yeah, this is what these are the things which makes Germany a unique place to be.
Sure. And just to add, because see, when people think about going abroad,
Mhm.
why I think Canada and US comes to their mind first, because they're English speaking countries,
Yes.
whereas Germany is a German. So,
Yeah.
so how difficult it is to survive in Germany, and
Mhm.
what level of language skills in German you should have to really make it in Germany? Just
Yeah.
because you are an MBA, so
Yeah.
that means your life is more revolved or people who are speaking German. So, what level you
Yeah.
have already achieved?
Mhm. Sure. So I'll say that Germany is a really international country, and so I'll divide your question into basically two parts. So if you're living in a bigger city, let's say Berlin, Frankfurt, Munich, Dusseldorf, these all countries are like really international. So people do speak English, and usually if you don't know like German so proficiently, you will still be able to like do your livelihood with English language. Uh, Whereas if you're located in a small city or in a small town where usually it's not so much international, you will need some kind of German language proficiency to basically converse with the local people in case you go to restaurant, if in case you go to supermarkets. But the bigger cities are like mostly international, and they are like good to be in a English speaking environment. Being an MBA student, I have completed like A1 and A2. I still consider myself at the very beginning stage, and I think it's an ongoing process. Learning a language is not something that you can achieve in a day or two. So yeah, I'm still in the I've completed A1 and A2, and I'm in the B level.
Got it. So I think what you're proving is that people can survive, study, and find a job in
Yeah.
Germany without reaching the B2 level, because many of us believe that you have to be B2 before you get a job in Germany. So
Yeah.
that is a myth. At least we have a live example of Saurabh here, who is working in a company in Germany without reaching the B2 level. I'm sure he is an A1, A2. That's very good. And he will do his B2 as well, but it's not a mandatory.
Yes. To add to this point, I'll say that we in Germany we have like all the big MNCs, and some of the MNCs which are really well known are German companies. So people are like really international. So I have been working with people who are from Poland, who are from UK, Ireland, uh, and other European countries. And it really depends on the company and the place you are at. Most of the companies, uh, it really depends on your job profile. But if you'll ask me, like tech jobs, they really don't require language proficiency. If you work in an international company, they are okay to like uh, help you even if you don't know like German. And I'll give you my example. I've worked in like 3 companies as a part-time working student, and this is my fourth company where I'm working as a full-time. All the 3 companies offered me free language classes in the evening. So most of the companies, they also offer language classes to their employees free of cost. So it's a really great initiative which German companies are like giving to their employees. and you can really well participate in those language classes and can upgrade your language skills.
Very good. So on that note, I think German language issue, which was in mind, and one of the anonymous attendee has asked this question: does it create difficulty in finding jobs in Germany or in college? So answer is no. You can find it, and we have a live example here. Um, when you were looking at IU, when you went to IU,
Yep.
just to get a little more details about the IU as a university, because obviously they are in Germany, there are public universities and then there are private university, which are applied sciences university. Everybody wants to be in public university, but very difficult to get, very limited courses in fully English language,
Right.
versus getting into a applied sciences university. I'm sure you would have done that analysis as well. You would have tried.
Yeah.
So just to answer, the applied sciences university are easier to get. I think we all know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But have you ever faced, because this is one of the question I see someone has asked, do you get
Yes.
discriminated because you studied in applied sciences university and not the TUM or University of Mannheim of business and all those things?
Yeah. So really interesting question, and like I would like to thank the participant who has asked. Let's see, like to answer this question, let's see what is the main difference between a public university and a University of Applied Sciences. And like when I was coming to Germany, like 2.5 years back, I did this research, like what is the main difference between public university and University of Applied Sciences. So a public university is basically the one which focuses more on research methodology. Okay, so those are the universities where you should go if you want to really make a career in research. Whereas University of Applied Sciences, their curriculum is more as per the latest industry demands. Okay, so if you want to do a job which is like and pursue a course which is like really industry based, like what industry really demands like today, you should go for University of Applied Sciences. So the main differences between public universities and universities of applied sciences is the curriculum of University of Applied Sciences is based on the current demand and the current trend of the industry. So if you're doing a MBA in international business, the curriculum is designed in such a way that it matches the requirement and the overall demand which the industry wants you once you graduate. Whereas public university focuses more on like research stuff. This is a key difference. To be honest, like I I I don't think that there's a kind of discrimination between public universities and universities of applied sciences. As I told you, both the universities focuses on like certain parameters, and every university is like equally like ranked, or I think there's no level that University of Applied Sciences is not as good as a public university. So it's all the same. Here I haven't seen any discrimination in terms if I'm studying in a University of Applied Sciences. When you go to job portals and you apply for jobs, they don't ask you like you can only apply if you're from University of Applied Sciences or university or public university. So they are like really open to whichever university that you study. So in Germany, mainly we have Hochschule, we have public universities, we have universities of applied sciences. So yeah, so coming to the question, like no discrimination, everyone is ranked like equally.
Yeah, and I think I like to add few more points here, and this is not Germany. This is basically talking about the world, the way it is changing, guys.
Yeah.
I have studied in IIT, I have studied in IIM. So I might say, okay, IITs and IIMs are one of the best places. So yes, I should be getting some additional benefits when I go to job market. That was true 15 years back. Today, nobody cares. Today, people only care about your skills. So you might be a best guy from IIT, but you are not skilled. You are still theoretical. You are asked to write a code and you don't write a code. Do not expect a job. Those days have gone. Today, the way things are moving, they are going to check their portfolio. They're going to look at your GitHub. They're going to look at your research, which you have done, thesis and research you have done. your work experience is a part-time jobs, your work experience in India, that is what is going to make a difference. Uh, in India, still some people, some jobs will say, I am looking for I am graduate or something like that. But in Germany, nobody cares about your education. If you are skilled, you are skilled. If you're not, then forget about it. So I think that's a very, very clear thing. I wanted to go beyond Germany, because it's not Germany. It's going to be US, it's going to be Australia, it's going to be Canada, it's going to be everywhere. Even in India, if I am hiring someone, I don't care whether he's from IIT or I am. If he is good, he's good. Then it doesn't matter that he's coming from even a regular college. And we have Saurabh as an example from MDU. It's not something which he can
Yeah.
say that, okay, it's equivalent to it, but he's done so well in his career right now, and he's here with us. So just moving from that topic, I think let me go a little more practical stuff. So
Mhm.
once you got an offer, Saurabh, I wanted to understand your journey from there to the getting the visa. So
Mhm.
we keep hearing about this block account, etc., etc. So
Yeah.
how did you go about getting your block account? How did you about getting all those insurance, ticket booking, finding an accommodation in
Mhm.
Germany? What did you do? Just
Yeah.
recall those initial days. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I'll divide this into two parts. Like if I'm applying and if I'm thinking of moving abroad for higher education, I would divide it into two parts. Like getting a university admission is the end of first part, and your second part begins when you have an offer letter, and then every hustle starts. Like every real hustle starts when you have to create a block account, you have to get your visa dates, and to be honest, it's something which is not easy. It's like really time consuming, but you get to learn a lot in these kind of processes. So with me, when I received my offer letter from IU, the second step which I did is like book a visa slot. So I contacted embassy and I contacted VFS. So I got a appointment date uh, like uh, 60 days uh, after like when I started looking. I got a date 60 days after uh, through VFS in Delhi, and then like I started preparing my documents. Preparing proper documents is like really important in your visa process. You have to attach your university's transcript, offer letter from IU or any other university where you're coming. You have to show funds. So for funds, they basically want you to create a block account. So block account is nothing but you just block your money before coming to Germany. And there are few companies who offer block account services. So I took help from one of the companies who were providing like block account facility. It's like really easy process. You just have to fill in your details and you just have to click next, 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 and complete the whole process. And it's like really economical. They charge a small amount for creating a block account, and you just need to block the money and show it as a fund to your visa officer when you apply for visa. uh, yeah, and the next thing which I looked is I started looking for accommodation. It's not an easy process, and usually getting a good accommodation in Germany is like little difficult. So what I did is I started interacting with and I started looking for my colleagues on Facebook. So in Facebook, you will see like people forming these groups like IU batch, summer intake 2021. So you can just uh, uh, be a member in that group and just get connected with with the with your future colleagues. That's what I have done, and it really worked. I'm still living with my colleagues whom I contacted back in India for accommodation. Uh, yeah, and uh, yeah, so that was the journey. Uh, I'll say that it's really time consuming, and sometimes like you really feel frustrated. Like it's a really lengthy process, but trust me, it's a experience. I'll say, and it's a good experience. Uh, it's not that difficult, but it's time consuming, and you really have to like focus step by step. So after I got my offer letter, I looked for visa slot. After the visa slot is done, I looked for creating a block account. After I did my block account, I just moved on searching accommodation. Yeah, I then when everything was done, I like booked the flight tickets. That was the easiest. Yeah.
Got it. So just for the information of everybody, I think this is where Upgrad will be helping you out. We'll be on watch of what other visa slots available. Accordingly, in time, we'll get you the visa slot, block account opening. So wherever this whole process is required, Upgrad will be helping you in doing it, because we want all of you to go Germany and experience what Saurabh mentioned is an experience which you should have. So yeah, it takes 2 to 3 months. Just to answer your question, somebody asked this question. 2 to 3 months of the time process will take, and because it's not you, it's the end of the day, embassy has to give you visa.
Yes.
You can do the process fast, but then you have to wait for the embassy to verify your document before they grant you a visa. So we need to keep time for that. Just Sayam, sorry, not Sayam. Sayam has asked this question, and before Sayam's question, I asked you. I wanted to just give the details about you did a 1-year MBA and then because of COVID you delayed your completing. So how much time did you spend in completing studies?
Yes, so mine was a 1-year program. That's a MBA in international business. It's a 60 ECTS program, and like I extended one semester due to COVID. So I completed in June, like last month. So it's roughly around, I'll say, 19 months. So I extended with one semester. So in Germany, it's a good thing and a bad thing also. You can extend the duration of your studies. So for example, if I have a 1-year program, I can extend my studies further for 1 year. And in that 1 year, what I can do is I can take a semester gap in which I can like look for part-time jobs, or I can learn language skills, and I can just take a break and then pursue my studies. So nearly all the German universities, they offer this kind of flexibility to the students, where they can extend their like regular duration of the studies by the same duration. So if you have a 12-month program, you can extend your program by another 12 months. So if you have 18 months program, you can complete it in like total 36 months or 3 years. So you can take break, you can do your part-time job, you can explore Europe. That's also few people do. You can learn language skills by taking a semester break. That is what we call semester gap or semester break. Yeah.
Got it. So yes, Saurabh. So I think this is the difference between Germany and other countries. In UK or in US, you cannot take part-time studies. You have to be a full-time student. But Germany allows you to do a more than a whatever is your course period. You can take 12 more months to complete that. So it gives you flexibility.
Not exactly the 12 months, but you can extend like the complete duration. So if you have a 18 months program, you can complete it in maximum 36 months.
36. Okay. Got it. Understood. So you can actually do the double of what is the expected time.
Double.
And people do it because they see that there are reasons that sometimes they want to go slow. There are part-time jobs they're doing, and there is a benefits available for the students, which are taken away as soon as you are done with your graduation. So maybe that is the reason.
Yes. So most of the students who take semester gap or semester break, they usually work on their language skills, since they feel like it's really important. In Germany, like every international student can work for like 20 hours on weekly basis. So they focus on learning new skills. They work part-time because you can work part-time because you're still enrolled with the university, even if you're not actively participating in the semester. Even in semester break, you are enrolled into the university, so you can do your part-time jobs, you can do your internships, you can work on your language skills, you can learn a new technical skill, or you can just take some break, relax your mind, roam, like travel the country and see new places. So I think the biggest advantage with Germany is they are like really flexible and they really value this. So no one will ask me like why have you completed your studies in like 18 months when it's a 12 months program. So they really value your decisions. So people really value your decisions here. They really respect that you have taken semester break. So you must be requiring that to learn new skills, or you wanted to like take some break out of your regular schedule. So that's the advantage which Germany offers, and I think it's really good. So if you're moving into a different country, peace of mind is like really important. And sometimes you feel like you should take break and just relax, and maybe do some stuff which you always wanted to do. So yeah, that kind of flexibility is offered in Germany, and yeah, that's the advantage, I'll say.
Got it. No, great, great. And now I'll pick the question by Sayam. Sayam says that
Yeah.
if a student who has, when applying for work visa, that you have stayed only 1 year in the country as compared to other people who have spent 2 in the country, as we get 18 months post-study work visa, is it the same as students who spend 2? I think he's
Yes.
trying to ask is that I think that there might be two
Yes.
questions. Sam, your question
Yeah.
is not very clear. One is that okay, in terms of the visa, it does not matter whether post-study work visa, it does not matter whether you stayed 1 year or 2 years. It will always
Yes.
be 18 months of post-study work visa.
Mhm.
Right now, Germany is very, very flexible in terms of how much time you have spent in the country. Minimum, as per the country website, says that okay, you can even do a single semester in Germany, still you'll get 18 months of post-study work visa. Though we do not recommend it because you need to spend sufficient time in the country to learn about the country and to find a job, do some posted part-time work before you finally complete your graduation. But German laws are very relaxed in that sense. Second question, which I believe you are asking, that is it better to do a 1 year course from Germany or 2 years? So my answer will be, it does not matter 1 year course or 2 year course which you do. Uh, it's end of the day, it's a flexible thing that sort of said okay, you can always extend for a course timeline if you want to do more time studying. But 1 year is sufficient time to learn the language, to do the part-time work, to find a job. And if you want to do it, and like many people actually do it, a lot of people actually go for 60 ECTS MBA to Germany because they have work experience and they can go for
Mhm.
that. So that's an option, and they have successfully established themselves in Germany. So I do not see a reason why you need to do full 2 years in Germany to really get the benefits of finding a job in Germany. Uh, Now let me ask you a bit of this question. I've heard that once you reach Germany, and you would have taken the temporary accommodation in the beginning, or was it a permanent itself?
Okay, so I took a shared accommodation with my colleagues whom I contacted on Facebook. So it was a rented apartment and it was a 1 year contract. So I moved into a rented apartment with 1 year contract.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And once you reach there, I think you have to do
Mhm.
some city level processes before you
Mhm.
can get your account open. So
Yes.
what was that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think this is like really interesting, and most of the participants who plan to come to Germany, it's this gonna be like really interesting to them. So once you come to Germany, you have to do certain formalities. The very first formality is getting yourself enrolled into the university. Enrolled as in they give you an enrollment letter. You just have to visit the university, and they will give you an enrollment letter which you can use for like further process. So the next step after you receive your enrollment credit letter from the university is like you have to register uh, to the city where you are living. So basically some bureaucratic work, and it's a very easy process. In that city registration, what you have to say is I'm an international student, and let's say I've landed in Berlin, and I have an accommodation here. I'm living here, and I need to get registered. Okay. So basically, for that, what you want to do, what you have to do is you have to take a appointment. So basically, we have a portal where we can take appointments. It's just like how you book a visa slot with VFS. So you can just log into their portal, check the dates, and find the nearest center where you are living. And you can go there and do the city registration process. Uh, if you'll ask my experience, these bureaucratic works, they are like really fast in Germany. Uh, and for students it's more kind of flexible. So I have like very good experience with the bureaucratic works here, and uh, the people who works in like visa office here in Germany, most of them are like really friendly with students. So as a student, I did not face any difficulty in like doing the bureaucratic work. So once you complete your city registration, you have a paper. So basically, it's a paper where your address is mentioned and your name, your passport number is mentioned, and that paper uh, is basically a letter which states that you are now registered to live in Germany. And with that, you can open your other services like bank account. So you can open a German bank account, and you can link that bank account with your blocked account, and your block account company can then transfer your money on monthly basis. So with that letter, city registration, we call it Anmeldung here. Anmeldung is basically a German word for registration. And once the Anmeldung is done, you can use that letter to open other services like bank account. Opening a bank account is like really easy. You just have to submit all your documents, and the bank account is open. We have so many bank account services, and they are like really fast. Some of them are like really online, so you don't have to visit any branch or any office in like physically, and you can open everything online. uh, yeah, so these are the three things that you should do once you come to Germany. Do your enrollment with your university, then book a city registration and do a city registration, then open a bank account, uh, and connect that bank account with your block account. Typically, it's a like really easy process, and it's a fun to learn. When you are in a new country, you basically interact with the people who are working in visa office. And to my experience, all the people are like really friendly here. Like they really, and when they see you are an international student, they really value your time. They really value your they wanted to interact with you, check how is your experience so far. So it's like really good. And most of the bureaucratic works, as I mentioned, they are like really fast, so you don't have to visit the visa office or city registration office again and again. If you have all the documents, your work will be done at your scheduled appointment.
Got
So
it.
yeah, so
Great.
people here are like really punctual with time, and if you have an appointment and you have your complete document, your work will be completed on that day only, that day itself.
Got it. So one thing which I wanted to anyway, so now we have understood once you go there, what do you do? So now
Yeah.
one other thing which I think we were talking earlier, you didn't like much about IU Germany was that it was a costlier affair
Yeah. Yeah.
compared to a public university.
Mhm.
And just to confirm, you said how many euros you have paid for your course of 1 year?
Yeah, so mine, as I mentioned, it was an MBA 60 CTS program. I paid like 19,000 euros.
19,000 euros. So,
Yeah.
so I understand from 19,000 euros, public university looks very attractive. So for the people who are in this group in this webinar today, so IU has realized that. I think it's a realization at their level, which they realize that okay, this is pretty high and steep, which somebody has to pay, and they have brought down their fees. Today, their fees is for this batch, which is starting tomorrow,
Mhm.
the fees will be around 8,428 euros. So
Oh,
less than
wow.
half
Yeah.
of what you have paid for doing a
Yeah.
1 year course in IU.
Yeah.
You will be
Mhm.
paying only 8,428 euros, and
Yeah.
this will increase to 8,768 euros from 1st of September. So anybody who is thinking about going to Germany, today and tomorrow is the last day to enroll and with our program, so that you get the benefit of the lower fees. But anyway, but there are things which you would have loved about IU. I just want to hear about. And there's a question from Mr. Sheikh Hussain. He
Yes.
want to know more about classes, lectures, campus
Yes.
life,
Yes.
etc.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'll just say the fun part begins. You are in Germany. Uh, you have done your enrollment. You have done your city registration. You have like met your friends. You've made few friends. You've made your block account. You've created your bank account. So the next part is like starting the student life again. So with in my case, like I came in Germany in September 2019, the pre-COVID times where everything was like pretty normal. And my first semester was completely on campus, though the second semester was online due to COVID. But my first semester was like on campus, and it was like really fun. So what we used to have is we had a very international batch, I would say. So people from Asia, people from Europe, people from America were there. Uh, and we had a very diverse batch. So one thing which is very good with IU is they offer a very diverse batch when you enroll into any of the course. So I have my colleagues who had experience as a general physician for 18 years, and he came to do MBA in finance. Uh, I have my friends who had done philosophy, studied philosophy, and now they came to IU to pursue MBA. So it was a very diverse batch. Best thing which I liked about IU is definitely the kind of professors they have. All the professors are like really uh, I'll say they are like really best in their industry. Most of the professors, I think majority of them are doctorate, and they also have like they also have work experience working in like leading companies at a very high position. So, and the best thing is that they are like super friendly. So if you'll ask me, like in India, we usually have a habit of addressing our professors with sir or madam, but here it's not the case. They are so friendly with you that you can just call them with the name, with their name, or just address them as professor, uh, or just call them with their name. They are like really happy to uh, hear that. So they are extremely friendly. uh, Another best thing about IU is we had a lot of industrial visits, and those industrial visits were very well aligned with the course curriculum. So in my first semester, I went to BMW Motoroid factory just to understand the supply chain process. I went to a beer factory, which is known as Berlin Kindle in Berlin, to understand how the beers are brewed and how the overall supply chain logistics function. We also had an industrial visit in Bosch Innovation Center where we learned about how innovations are taking place, what are the projects that they are working on. So it was a kind of mix, both classroom as well as industrial visits. And trust me, these industrial visits are like really fun because you get to see some practical example, uh, and and it really gives a good exposure to international student. Uh, yeah, so my first semester was like completely uh, fully satisfied, or like I was like completely satisfied with the overall structure, with the overall uh, performance what IU delivered. uh, we had exams, we had like regular exams where I have to like write it down on a paper, so it's very similar to what we have in India. Apart from that, we had to do regular presentations, case studies, some assignments which were a part of the curriculum. So first semester went really well, and the second semester was completely online due to COVID. So the first semester was from to Feb, October to February, and the uh, second semester started in April, which ended in August. So the second semester was like completely online. We had like Zoom sessions. Uh, the best part is the university still focused on delivering the industry lectures. So we had some industry talks. Although like we couldn't go for like any industrial visits physically like we did in like first semester, but we had like career talks and industry talks where like people from leading companies came to deliver lecture on certain, let's say, technology. uh, and yeah, it was like completely different experience when you study online, but yeah, it was worth it. I would say.
Got it. So the faculty is really good and the experience
Yes.
was good. I
Yeah.
see one question which is saying that do we need to take GMAT exam for going in Germany? If not, Germany, GMAT is a requirement only in very few countries. Whoever has asked this question, it's anonymous apparently. GMAT is only mostly required if you are going to US. Otherwise, most of the other countries do not require GMAT exam. In case of our course, even you don't even have to appear for IELTS because we have a IELTS waiver. Our course is taught in English only when you are studying in India. So you don't have to worry about giving an IELTS exam as well. So that's the benefit of working with going through our upgrade platform. One more question I clearly saw between MIM versus MBA. So in case you are looking to do MBA from at least IU Germany, I can tell you, you need to have a 2-year work experience. Only then you can go for MBA.
Yeah.
MIM is available even if you have a lesser work experience or you're just a fresher. So that's the way it is. So I see some question by a person called Galaxy M30. So you've done your graduation 2016. Still, I am fresher. I have want to go for MBA from Germany. Am I eligible for MBA? No, you will not be eligible for MBA, but you can go for MIM. Also, you need to justify from 2016 to 2021. If you were not working, what were you doing? So this will be a question asked to you. So you should have an answer ready. Let me see. One question is on the part-time job opportunity. So do
Yeah.
you require German language? I know you have already answered this, but somebody asked this question, so I'll just again touch on this topic. For finding a part-time job, do you need to know German language?
Okay, this is a really good question, and I would like to say that it really depends on your job profile and the city where you are in. So mostly, if you are in a big city, let's say Frankfurt, Berlin, Munich, Dusseldorf, Cologne, Bonn, you'll find a lot of English-speaking jobs. But still, I would say that it depends on your job profile. Few of the job roles, they really require some kind of like German proficiency, uh, but they are also like English speaking jobs. As I mentioned, like most of the companies are really international here, and they really uh, value international people. So I would say it really depends on the job opportunity that you're looking for. I'll say if you have a language proficiency, you have a upper hand compared to any other candidate who is applying. But I'll say you'll find English speaking jobs in, let's say, big cities. So it's relatively easier to get a part-time English speaking jobs in big cities compared to like smaller cities.
Great. And on that topic, Prasanna wants to know from you, which location did you study, Berlin or Bonn?
Yeah, I studied in Berlin campus.
Yeah, that answers the question. And Parivesh Rakesh wants to know which campus would you recommend to opt for, Bad Honnef or Berlin?
Wow, this is a really good question, and
Yeah,
and this is one question which I really like to answer to someone who really wanted to know which campus is really better. Uh, I'll say that both the campuses has certain disadvantage and advantages. Let's talk like what is the difference. So if you select a Berlin campus, you have advantages like you'll find uh, a larger international crowd. You will have a more international population living in Berlin. So it's more adjusting to you if you don't have a language proficiency. Uh, so if you want to be in an international environment, you want to be if you want to be in a bigger city, select Berlin campus. And if you are in Berlin, you are anyways in a bigger city, so you have more part-time job opportunities that you're looking for. The disadvantage of being in Berlin campus is we don't have a really big campus. The Bonn campus or Bad Honnef campus is like really big. So we have a proper campus, what you see in like movies. We have like cafeteria, we have playground, we have hostel, uh, everything within the campus. So if you want to relive your like college life, hostel life, uh, and you are comfortable with being in a small city, I would say select Bad Honnef. Uh, and when you're selecting Bad Honnef campus, just remember are in a smaller city, so you should have some kind of language proficiency. Part-time job opportunities are like really limited. I won't say it doesn't exist there, but they are like really limited. And eventually, for full-time job opportunities, you will have to move to a bigger city, which is the nearest bigger cities are, as you mentioned, is Bonn, Dusseldorf, Cologne, if you are in a Bad Honnef campus. So yeah, I would say that every campus, both the campuses have certain disadvantage and advantage. If you want to be really into international environment, you are not that much proficient in German. You want to do more part-time jobs, select Berlin campus. Although the campus is not really big, but we still have really good infrastructure in terms of our classroom. We have a beautiful library. We have good classrooms. Uh, the standard of delivering lectures or the course curriculum is same in both the campuses, so you won't miss anything on that. But yeah, if you want to relive your college life, being in a smaller city, you know the language, then select Bad Honnef.
Got it. And somebody's asking, I don't know whether you can answer this or not. Have offline classes resumed in German university or still online?
Yes, I guess few months back, we had a kind of hybrid structure where in case you want to attend, you could attend on campus or you could also attend uh, online if you want. But I think uh, now it's shifted to online, as far as I have listened from my colleagues who are still pursuing
Yeah.
their course. But I think 1 year down the line, the conditions are really improving in Germany. Like people are really getting vaccinated, and everyone like follows precautions, COVID precautions. So like things are like really improving, and I guess 1 year down the line, things should be the same. On campus studies should get started 1 year down the line. But now I guess it's
It's
online.
online. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're right. Currently, still it is online, guys. Like in India, all the colleges are online. Nobody wants to take a risk of getting 20 people in a room and then having
Yeah.
a COVID scenario. But things will improve. I'm sure UK and Canada are opening their campuses, so we'll know. US again is seeing 100,000 cases, so I don't know whether they can open or not. But yeah, so this will continue to be a little turmoil. But next year onwards, I'm assuming everybody will be offline. One question which is better is MIM or MBA. My answer to this will be MIM and MBA both are management courses. Just the name difference. One is called Masters in International Management. The other is called Masters in Business Administration. So it's just an accreditation which you get. But for MBA, you need to have work experience. MIM can be done by students without work experience. So that's the basic difference as I understand. Saurabh, you want to add something here?
Yeah, absolutely. I can just add few things. Let's say someone is doing MBA in marketing and someone is doing MIM in marketing. So in MIM also you have like specialization. In MBA also you can take specialization if you want. Finance, operations, marketing, HR. So the difference in both is for MBA you need to have some kind of work experience. If you are I'm sorry, if you are a fresher and you just wanted to pursue your masters just after your graduation, go for MI. Although I am specifically speaking for IU. Although in IU we have some overlapping subjects both in MBA and MIM. Uh, Although it's not very different, but we have some overlapping subjects in which MIM and MBA students are like taught same subjects. But MBA is more kind of curriculum designed for people who have some kind of work experience, like 2 years of work experience, and or more. So if you really are a fresher, you go for MI. If you have some work experience, go for MBA, because in MBA you will have a very diverse batch. Like in MBA, you will have people with work experience ranging from 2 years to like let's say 18 years. I had a colleague who had like 18 years of practice in medicine, and he was pursuing MBA in finance. So yeah, but MIM will mostly find freshers who are like really who have like really graduated and they want to pursue masters in like management.
So now one more question which I have from Peter level. What is the
Mhm.
German corporate culture like? I have heard that they have a
Yes.
good work-life balance. To what
Yeah.
extent it is
Yeah.
true?
Oh, this is like a really good question, and this is also one of my favorite questions. So in Germany, like we really have a very flexible working environment, and we really have a very strict labor law. So we have a fixed working hours. So every full-time employee works 40 hours in a week, which is like if you divide it into like on daily basis, you have to work 8 hours, and we have like a fixed Saturday Sunday off, so you really can enjoy your weekends. And most of the German companies or most of the companies in Europe, they are like very flexible in terms of scheduling your working hours, so you can really select your working hours based on your schedule. Mostly, if you'll ask me, German people like to start very early in the morning. So they will usually start at 7 or 8 in the morning and they finish around 4 or 5 in the evening. And yeah, so most of the German companies, they are like really flexible with your timings. But we have fixed hours. So you work 40 hours full time. Saturday, Sunday is fixed off. So so like anyone who is planning to come to Germany, they can really enjoy their weekends really well. And yeah, the corporate culture is like very flexible, and all the people are like they are like really supportive. They really respect your thoughts. They really value your openness. So you can really put a word of your own, and uh, people are ready to listen what you say. And if you'll ask me, I really enjoy working for a European company. I'll say, although I liked working for India also when I was like working there, but yeah, here we have like more flexibility. You can enjoy your weekends. Uh, you have colleagues who are like really flexible and really helpful to you whenever you want. So it's in terms of work culture, I'll just give it full marks to Germany or to any other European. It implies to any other European country, I'll say.
Got it. And so I'm just speaking one question which I was avoiding till now. But what are the tax deduction for an unmarried person working in Germany? So how does the taxation
Yes.
work there?
Yes. So basically, your taxation doesn't really depend on the salary bracket that you have. It mostly depends on what category you fall. So basically, we have 4 or 5 tax classes. So for example, if you are single and if you're unmarried, you fall in tax class 1. If you are married and you have a spouse who is like not working, you have another tax bracket. If you are married and both of them are working, we have another tax bracket. And yeah, it works like this. So usually, if you're a single person and uh, if you're single and you're doing a full-time job, the taxes are a little high, but it's worth it. So you get some benefits when you pay tax. So you get insurance, you get good health benefits, you get pension facility in case you want to retire in Germany and you want to have a good life. So taxes are high, I'll say, but it is worth it because it has the benefits. Yeah, so tax class is based on if you're married, if you're single, if your spouse is working. uh, yeah, if both of them are working and both of them have similar salaries, it falls in another tax class. If your spouse is working at a lower salary, you are into another tax class. So it works like that.
Got it. Got it. And I think we are at the end of the our time here. We're already at 2:32. I'll just see if I can pick up a easier question for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, so okay, one question which I saw was that taking an MBA with specialization versus no specialization. As a new as an immigrant student to a
Yeah.
Germany,
Yeah.
what is going to be better for them? Shall they go
Mhm.
for specialization or not?
Yeah, really good question. I think like when you do specialization, uh, you study one particular specialization for entire semester, and
Mm.
it's across the German universities or across any other university in the world. So, for example, I did MBA, which is a general MBA into international business. I did not study any specialization, unlike my friend who studied MBA in marketing. So, a complete semester is dedicated to subjects related to marketing, or let's say related to finance, or let's say related to HR if someone is doing in HR. So, if you really want to do gain some expertise in particular field, a particular career, I'll say go for a specialized semester, because in specialized semester you will learn 5 or 6 subjects, which is focused on your specialization, and it's mostly beneficial to those people who wanted to like do a career shift. Let's say I'm a BTech graduate, and I was like working as a software developer, and I wanted to move into marketing. uh, so doing a specialization will really help in such a case. And if you really want to focus more deep uh, with some specialization, you can do that. So for people, let's say who are like, I guess most of the participants should have a technical background or will have a technical background. They can do MBA in IT management. So they will have subjects related to, like, let's say product management, software life cycle. So they can really focus in one particular field for 6 months. So it's really good. And after you complete your master, after you complete your specialization, you have to do one thesis. I'm not sure whether the course curriculum now is that or not, but you can also
They have to
pursue.
do. They
Yeah.
have to do
So
thesis.
yeah, so you can really once you do specialization, you really have a focused mindset that okay, I want to do thesis in this particular topic. So that really helps you in selecting your thesis topic as well. And plus, if you have a specialization, you can really focus into jobs in one particular sector. So for example, an MBA finance student can like target jobs which are really focused on finance. Yeah, so that's my point.
Yeah, I got it. Great. I think thanks a lot for your time, Saurabh. I think we will be bringing you back after some time
Yeah.
again to answer the remaining questions. If there were
Yeah.
questions around job search, today's
Mhm.
focus was more on understanding IU and the entry to Germany.
Mhm.
But after what happens when you get your degree, we'll touch base next time.
Sure.
Thanks a lot for all the participants who were with us for last 1 hour and they asked very interesting questions. Hopefully, we answered few of your doubts, and more will be answered by either our counselors or you'll get Saurabh again back. The
Yeah.
recording of this particular webinar will be available on our YouTube channel and will be shared with you guys all. Great. Thanks a lot, Saurabh.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
My just final words for all the
Yeah, please.
participants is like uh, this is gonna be a really interesting journey. I think most of them will be in a dilemma, like they have some kind of confusion. But I guess once you land here, once you start everything new, things will really become easy for you, and it's really a good journey to be a part in, and like everyone will enjoy it. Yeah, I wish everyone good luck.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Great. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Thank you.